it's Jordan. So today I'm gonna do a story time about the time I found out that I was getting cheated on. So this story took place when I was a freshman. Literally everything crazy happened when I was a fucking freshman. Okay, so let's do a backstory. So when I was 14, I went to a football game with my homegirl, and we were at the game, right? And I remember I was looking up and I looked at this boy and I'm like, oh my God, he is so fine. Who is that? And my homegirl was like, do you want his number? And I'm like, no, I'm too scared. Like, I don't want to get it. And she's like, Jordan, do you want his number? You want his snap? And I'm like, no, I'm too scared. So then this girl that was sitting next to us, I don't even think I liked her, but she was my friend's friend. She was like, I'm gonna go get his Snapchat for you. So she went and she got his Snapchat for me. And I'm like, oh my God, ah. So then I remember he texted me when I got home and he was like, is this the girl in the pink? And I was like, oh my God, yes it is. So we had started texting, whatever, and he went to a different school. He went to a school like maybe like 15 minutes away from me. And I should have known it wasn't real, because if you're only texting on Snapchat, that's just not real. Like, you know what I mean? So we would like text all day long. Like, I really, really liked him. Like, I would be on the phone with him till like 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. Did I give him a code name? Okay, his code name is gonna be like Water Bottle. That's his name. So I would be talking to Water Bottle till like 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. I was 14. Like, I should have been asleep. So that's just a little backstory on him. So let's go into the first time that I got like suspicious. So like I said, I met him at a football game and we went to different schools, so I couldn't really like see him, and I don't even know if I was allowed to date at 14. I was still doing it, but I don't know if I was allowed to, so I couldn't really talk to my parents and be like, oh, I'm going on a date with this boy, because then they wanted to meet him and all the other stuff, and I was like a sneaky kid. So I remember I went to my friend Starla's house, and she lived right by this school, and my school was playing the school that she lived by, but the school she lived by wasn't his school. So he's like, how about we meet at like the game? Like, let's go to the football game. I'll meet you there. We could chill. So I'm like, okay. So I go to Starla's house. Like, we got ready. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So we go to the game and we're sitting there waiting, and he comes and he was with his fucking cousins. And I don't know how my older sister found out, or maybe I told her, but I'm just gonna say I don't know how she found out. But my older sister ended up coming to the game. So my older sister was like sitting with me, and we look over and we see Water Bottle and his cousins, and I'm like, oh my God, like, leave. And she's like, no, I want to meet him. And I'm pretty sure he was wearing all red. So she's like, what does he do? What does he do? Like, asking me, like, you know, if he, and I'm like, girl, like, I don't know, like, that's just his favorite color, you know, stupid shit. So then he like came. I think my older sister ended up moving, or she left the game or something. And so he was sitting by me, we were talking, the game goes by. I'm pretty sure my school lost like usual. So at the end of the game, we went outside the gates and we were like hugged up, and he said something, and he's like, this. And I was like, what? Like, he almost said a name. And I'm like, what? My name is Jordan. My name didn't start with no S. So I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, whoa, ha, ha, ha. His cousins are like, ha, ha, ha. And he's like, I almost said Starla, my friend's name. I'm 14. I was like, oh, okay. Now I would have been like, do you think I'm a fucking idiot? You think I'm stupid? Really? So I was like, oh, okay. Whatever. So that passes, that goes by, and then one time he's like, can I post my stepsister as my Woman Crush Wednesday? And I'm like, post your stepsister? What? Why would you want to post your stepsister? He's like, we have like a different bond. Again, I was 14. I was stupid. I would like, now, oh, looking back, I'm just so embarrassed of myself. 14-year-old me needed a hug. She just needed a hug and some love. So I was like, I mean, I guess. He posted the girl, and I was like, no. She was so pretty. So pretty. I was like, no, that's not your stepsister. And he was black and the girl was white. And I'm like, that's not your stepsister. He's like, yes, it is. My, well, she's actually not white, but I thought she was white. She's like, I think she's Hawaiian. We're cool now, so I can talk about this. Me and her, we've said our piece. We're cool. But anyway, so I'm like, she's white. And he's like, no, she's not. But she's mixed, but my stepmom is white, and that's her daughter, and my dad and her have my dad and my stepmom have a baby together. Like, he made this whole story up. Like, he was a psycho. Who does that? So he like makes this whole story up. But at the time, I'm like, okay, just delete it. And he posted both of us. So he deleted my picture, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I don't want her to get mad at me, so I can't delete hers. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, you're fucking your stepsister? That's what I asked him. I was like, that's so weird. Like, that's so weird. So I ended up letting that go because I was 14 and I was stupid. But now I would absolutely never. But anyway, so what happened next? So then I'm trying to remember like everything that like happened. Like, it was literally so much, bro. Like, it was so fucking much. So I remember one time he was like, okay, I'm going to Gravity. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm going to Gravity for a lock-in. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he said something, and he goes, da-da-da-da. But he said the name. I'm not going to say her name on here, but he said the name. Let's call her Sponge. And if you see this girl, you know I like you. That's just the only name that I thought of. So anyway, he's like, something Sponge. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh, I said baby. I said baby. I was like, no, you didn't. You just said Sponge. My fucking name is Jordan. He's like, I said baby. I'm like, baby and sponge, they don't even rhyme. Like, what are you talking about? So he's like, you're tripping. I'm gonna go. Like, da da da. And he's like laughing. And I remember he hung up the phone, and I'm like fucking bawling my eyes out. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? So that happened. And I'm trying to like remember all the details. Like, everything is so fuzzy. This happened when I was 14. But like, something ended up happening to where I found out who she like was. Like, I'm pretty sure my friend ended up finding her Facebook, and I'm like, this is the bitch that, because once he said the name, I was like, okay, I'm in detective mode. I need to find out who this girl is. So I went on his Facebook and I searched through his Facebook followers, and I searched up her name, and I found it, and it was the girl that was his stepsister. So I called my friend. I called Starla, and I'm like, he thinks I'm a fucking idiot. Da, 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 da. This is his fucking bitch. I'm like, I'm going, can I say all these words on YouTube? I don't know. But anyway, so I'm like, this is his girlfriend. And she's like, Jordan, like, you're tripping. No, it can't be. And I'm like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, I don't know. I don't remember like what happened, but all I know is I ended up finding out that he was fucking with her. Oh my God, can I say these words? That he was messing with her from finding her on his Facebook. So I don't remember how we ended up like breaking up, but I know we broke up. And I remember he like posted a picture of her, and I was like trying to eat some chips. I was in class, I was eating chips, I was like on the floor charging my phone. And he posted the picture, and I like, oh, I died. My heart broke in half. My heart literally broke in half. I was like, oh my God, why her? Why her? Girl, you know, who knows? But yeah. And then I don't know if we like ever argued. We might have. If you see this girl, let me know. Did we ever argue, me and you? But I know I went through their messenger messages one time. Girl, because after that happened, they broke up, and like we got back together. Then we broke up and they got back together. Then they broke up and we got back together. Like, it was like he was literally like pinging between the two of us. It was pathetic, to say the least, on everyone's part. You know what I mean? But yeah, I have more story times about like that. I have a story time about when we got back together for the last time. Okay, so we started messing with each other when I was like, what, 14? And we stopped messing with each other like a few months after I turned 15. So this all happened in like 10 months, maybe, like around that time. But yeah, that's the story of how I got like cheated on, how I like found out. I think that's like the only time, well, no, everybody else knows who broke my heart, but we're friends now. me and her. But no, that's like the only time I really got cheated on and like talked to the other girl. But I got like messed on with before, but that's another story time for another day. But yeah, so that is the story time. I hope you guys liked it. Follow me on TikTok and follow me on Instagram. My TikTok is Jordan from Vegas and my Instagram is jordanairiyah.